sort of addicted to this one. Never played it before. It was called Splendor. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Mm-mm.
And it's simplistic but addictive, which I love. And it's sort
Okay.
of it's like a board game, and it's basically it's like first to 15 points, but you've got each card resembles a number of points as well, but you need to get enough coins to buy them cards and stuff like that. So it's you just take it in turns and buy what you can and screw over the other players. And
Okay.
it's really good fun. It's really good fun. Like I've been trying to play one game I've released like 2 days with my friends, and I honestly love it. Like I actually want to buy the board game itself. I want to spend money on it, man. It's so much fun and simple, and it's perfect with like chill music to listen to.
Hello and welcome to Talk Ag to Me, the podcast dedicated to improving ag literacy around the globe. I'm your host, Brandon Black, and in today's episode, we're visiting with yet again another old friend. This is, one of another episodes in our All-Star season that we've been highlighting some of our favorite guests from past episodes. So this one is kind of an older episode. I haven't talked to you in quite some time. So before we get into anything, would you mind introducing yourself to the crowd, Paul?
Yes, I'm poor. Oh God, throat. Sorry. Yeah, I'm poor. Currently living in London. We hopped on each other's podcasts before. I've currently took a break from mine, so I've just got work and personal issues to work out at the moment.
Hmm.
Um, I'm hoping to get back onto it though when I get some spare time. But yeah, that's me, I think.
Awesome. Well, in the hopes that you do get back to it soon, do you want to let everyone know what your podcast is?
Yeah, so my podcast is the Real Life Podcast, and I literally talk to strangers off the internet, ask them questions with a random wheel, and they can choose whether to answer it or not, and then I'll just put it out. Pretty simple, just talking to random strangers on the internet.
Always entertaining stuff. But yeah, no, like Paul mentioned, we've done a couple episodes in the past, but it has been some time, so I figured it'd be good to just kind of reconnect and like we've done with a couple other episodes in this season, there's not going to be like an essential theme. It's more going to be like a catch up and kind of talk about podcasting stuff and just one of the things I've noticed. I mean, I guess we're jumping straight into this.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of the people that I have been interviewing for this season are taking breaks from their podcasts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and ironically enough, myself included, because I'm bulk recording all these episodes, so I haven't actually posted anything at the time of recording in about 3 months. So I'm on my own little break right now, just trying to get this done before I jump back into it.
Ah, I think that's actually a good way to do it because when I was doing mine, I was just recording like 2 or 3 episodes a night, and then I didn't have enough time to myself to work on like my portfolio or
Mm,
have a break and stuff like that. And then I'd work on that for day to day, and then I'd have to edit it, and I'd have to edit it like after work, and it's just I
mm.
got so tired. I think if I do it again, which I do want to, I need to bring back like a better schedule, maybe seasons. Like, hey, this one's going to be 10 episodes, and I'll worry about the next ones like next month or whatever.
Yeah. No, I find that tends to help me at least. I tend to be a pretty structured person, so I kind of need some kind of plan before going into it. I've tried doing the whole like, record 1 or 2 episodes a week and then just try to get them out, that week, or both recording, but only doing it up to a certain point and then trying to catch up afterwards. And it makes it kind of difficult and stressful to play catch up and make sure everything's in order. So
It
I,
really does.
I
Because then when you
um,
record it, you got to think, oh god, I got to get this episode this week, and like you don't want to let
mhm.
the other person down as well. And it's like, okay, I can work on this after work, and it's like, oh no, okay, cool, I can't. I've got to go cook. And it's like, oh, for God's sake.
Right. No, I mean that's you're absolutely right. That's been a big struggle. And that's that was a big reason why I took my break. I was working on episodes nonstop and they were just kind of getting lower and lower in quality. And I was like, this isn't fair to my audience, and it's not fair to me. I need to take some time off to kind of reflect my thoughts and my energy and put it all back in there once I have it again.
I mean, you need it, otherwise, just like you said, the quality just becomes lower and lower, and it's just not as good.
Right.
That's the issue.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking a break. It's good to, especially like, like I've been trying to play around with the seasons idea. When you go into a new season, you have this idea of how many episodes you're going to do and how you're going to do them and who your guests are going to be. And like, if you get all that worked out and you can kind of just have that set in stone, so it's not just like, okay, well, what should I do this week? It gets a little bit easier, more manageable that way. So that does tend to help. That helps me at least. That's not, I may not help everybody, but that does make it a little bit easier on the workload.
Yeah, it does, man. I can see that helping a lot, to be honest, man. It's just sometimes you just have too much to do, and you can't get it out. You just can't.
Yeah. So that being said, one of the things that I've been kind of doing with a couple of my other guests, as we reminisce on our podcast, is talking about some of our, more interesting episodes, any kind of like weird stories, cool friends we've made, new ideas we have for episodes coming out, they kind of try to re-spark some of that passion about podcasting. So that, on that note, are there any notable episodes you want to highlight?
Yeah, there was one guy. Oh, let me just check my Discord. I think his name. Where was it? I still talk to him now. On my Discord, he's known as 88, and I think he was like the 6th or 7th guest I ever interviewed. And he was just really fucking cool. Oh yeah, can I swear? Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah. He was really cool, and like we kept in contact, messaging each other. Trying to give each other like motivation and stuff like that. But he's doing really good. Like he's doing his art, he's doing music, he's doing everything, man. It's crazy.
Wow. Huh.
There was another guy as well. I haven't done it that long. I forgot some of the names, which is awful of me. Where I was like, oh, I'd really like to see like a bear, and then he just takes a photo of one in his garden and just shows me, oh yeah, there's a brown bear outside. It's like, that's pretty mad.
Oh, that's super cool.
I think that one's was pretty good. But there were so many different stories that I got off people. It's insane. It's hard to sort of think of a few more off the top of my head.
Yeah. No, I can see that. I mean, it's, when you talk to a lot of people, there's going to be some very interesting interactions, and some of them might not come to mind. And then like one day you're going to be like, oh yeah, I talked to some person that does that on a daily basis. That's kind of weird, So interesting.
What about you? Have you spoken to anyone that's like sort of stuck in your head?
Oh man, I mean that's what this whole season's about, really, is talking to those people again. So I mean, I have a few episodes that really stuck out for different reasons. I've had episodes that the actual like topic of the episode is really interesting. I've had episodes where the guest was just really interesting and colorful. I've had episodes where I felt really good about what we were talking about. Like it's hard to pin down like oh yeah, that was a good episode, because there's so many of them just like those were all good episodes. So I mean, I always go back to one of my earliest interviews as well. He was a mentor of mine, and unfortunately he passed away about a year after we did the episode, but he was an old teacher of mine, and he was my first interview of the podcast, and he's still to this day my most popular episode. So that one was a really cool one. Since I've kind of transitioned into more of like the like like you mentioned, random people on the internet kind of conversations, I've made some cool friends. I've definitely made some strange connections. I've met people who do hobby podcasts like yours, where they talk to people about their lives, more niche market kind of podcasts where they focus on specific topics, other ag podcasts like mine. So like, it's just been really cool to get to see the spectrum of different podcasts out there and kind of how people handle those conversations differently. And that's one of the cool things I like about, like, I'll have 10 people on that all do podcasts about hobbies, and they all do them completely differently. And so I think that's really cool to watch. I don't know. I mean, I've had some guests, like I mentioned. I mean, this whole season is really dedicated to some of the guests I've had more memorable episodes with. So, I mean, congratulations, your episode was very memorable in my mind.
I'm glad. I'm bloody glad.
Yeah, which ironically enough, I can't remember what we talked about now. I just remember enjoying it. So,
On wait, what did we talk about? I am not too sure.
I'm gonna have to look through my archives. Hold on here, because now it's gonna drive me crazy. But no, that's well, I'm looking. I'll look through this while we're going through this. But yeah, no, I mean it's always fun for me to get to experience the lives of people from different perspectives. I mean, I grew up in a very small farm town, so everyone I talked to was associated with agriculture somehow. So
Yeah,
getting to meet people outside of that spectrum and kind of really get to explore other parts of the world and other cultures and personalities and all that was just really really interesting for my mind to kind of get to witness. So yeah.
it's cool. Like you do get to talk to loads of different people, and there's so many podcasts out there.
Oh
There's
man,
so bloody many, man. Like
everyone's got a podcast.
there was one that I started listening to. It was really, really good. Where is it now? It's called Radio Rental.
Okay. Huh.
It's really, really good. Like they just tell like spooky stories on there and stuff like that. And it just hooked me, man, because I'd listen to it at night. I'm like, oh god, I feel a bit unsafe here. I need to turn on the light.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
it's really good. Wicked podcast, man.
that's super cool. I just found our first episode, which was we talked about how let's see how COVID affected agriculture, and then like what technologies were being used, and how agriculture relates to video games.
Oh damn, yeah.
So I completely forgot about that, but
When
yeah,
was that? Was that been over a year?
it's been a while. Let me check the date on it, because I did not check that. Hold on. It was. I just had the episode. Where'd it go? Um, Here we go. October 21st of 2020. So it's been about a year and a half now.
Oh my god.
And that's just when I posted it. I think we recorded it like a couple weeks before that. So
That's insane.
yeah. So that's crazy to think about. I mean,
Wait,
and
how long
that's
has COVID been about then?
a
Jeez.
lot's changed since we've done that episode. So there's going to be some new information on that. But
Yeah, it's saying. It's saying. Boris has gone out to parties and dancing and stuff like that.
right.
Loads of stuff. I actually had COVID myself.
Oh yeah, I did too.
Yeah. Oh, how did you find it?
Oh, I honestly, I had like a headache for 20 minutes and a slight cold for a day, and then I was good.
You're sorted.
Oh yeah, I don't know how, but I completely it like passed through me like nothing. I just quarantined. I felt fine the whole rest of the time, and I went out and never had any issues.
Yeah. I quarantined as well. I was all right, but there was like 2 or 3 days in the middle which I was just like killed me.
Mm,
Absolutely knocked me out.
that's not good.
But I'm all
Yeah,
good now.
yeah.
I'm
No,
all
I've
good now.
heard there are some people that it just freaking takes out, man. And yeah, I was fortunate enough to not have to be one of those. But yeah, no, I'm glad to hear you're doing all right.
Cheers, man. I appreciate
But
that.
that kind of brings up a question to me then. So it's been a little over, a year and about a year and a half since the last time we've talked. Have you learned, seen, had any new perspectives or anything on agriculture? Have you seen anything you're like, hey, that reminds me of this episode I did? Like, kind of like a check back on did our conversation change anything?
uh, so when I was playing the game, I don't know if you heard of it, Valheim. You
I
could
have heard
grow
of that.
stuff on there as well.
Hmm.
And recently I've been playing Tabletop Simulator, just like taking a break from actual like proper video games into sort of boardy games, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, and I have been thinking about some of the stuff on there because you can just plant it and just grow it and stuff like that. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember that episode.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure
nothing like
the
now, like dive deep into it. Haven't been
right.
able to do any of that.
Yeah. No, I'm sure the technology we talked about doesn't quite apply to those those areas, but the thoughts
Yeah,
there.
but you was right. It does pop up in a lot of things,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that it stuck with you. That's kind of, another one of the cool things I like to find is, talking to people that I had episodes with and like, hey, did you, have you seen anything? And some of them are like, wait, we did an episode together. And so, and some of them are like, oh yeah, I watched this movie and it had, all this stuff in the background and it made me think of our episode. And, like, so everyone kind of engages with the information differently. And that's what makes it fun for me, is to kind of see, just how they take it and what they do with it. So that's cool.
Yeah, I remember. I actually remember doing the podcast first, and I had no idea what it was. It was just one big word, agriculture. I didn't have a clue.
Yeah, that's the case with most people, which, that's why we're doing it, trying to get some education out there, try to get people more aware of stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
What else is happening with you? Have you been doing anything new at all, or
I actually have. Lately, I've been doing a bunch of new stuff. So, like we just mentioned, a lot's changed in the past year and a half.
Yeah.
But most recently, I just started up at my second job.
Oh, nice. What is it?
So my first job is I'm kind of like a journalist intern. So I'm working for an ag based news company, and I kind of run my own stories about education and like different forms of agricultural education in the US.
Yeah.
And then my new job is I'm working as what's called a conservation interpreter for the zoo. So we have a local zoo in the town that I'm living in right now, or the city I'm living in right now. And so I basically get to go help feed the animals. I get to give little talks on the animals and kind of teach people about them, give mini tours and just kind of, teach people more about wildlife and kind of interacting with it and all that kind of fun stuff.
That's so cool.
Oh,
Damn,
yeah.
you must be busy as well.
Oh, man, you have no idea. I mean, we're doing an episode at 4 a.m. So clearly I got to find time for something.
Yeah, I had no idea it was 4 a.m. as well, so apologies on that.
No, you're good. I mean, like I said, I was willing to compromise because I knew that you had a busy schedule, so I wanted to fit this in where you had time. But yeah, no, it's been a little busy. If I'm not at the zoo, and I just started up school again, so
oh, nice. How's school going?
It's been good. It's online for the first couple weeks. I'm hoping that it doesn't stay that way, but we'll kind of see how things go. But it's been pretty good. I'm almost done. I have another. I have this semester and then next semester, and then I'll graduate and get my degree. So, yeah,
that's gonna be awesome, man. That's wicked.
Yeah. So yeah,
Wow.
there's been that, and then so between the two jobs and school starting and podcast stuff and other projects, it's been a little crazy over here.
Right, it sounds it. You've got more on your plate than me. Jesus.
Yeah, I have a tendency to overload my plate just a little bit, but it's okay. We're living.
It's good though. It's good that you keep yourself busy, but it's just gonna fucking break one day, man.
Right, and that's the tough part. Trying to find ways to relieve some of that stress wherever possible.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So what what's been going on over on your end? What news do you got?
I am actually trying to think because, man, nothing's really changed here. I'm still, doing regular work and stuff like that. Been working on bits of my portfolio, just learning new techniques and stuff like that.
Nice.
I think my art's become better. I got my dad into a game of Rocket League, and he just loves it. He's got his own PS4 now just to play Rocket League, which is insane.
That's awesome.
So that's really nice. I'm glad that I can play games with my dad. So I do miss that. That's one of the things that I generally miss, because we used to play like PS1 games together. But now it's hard because he doesn't have a good enough PC, which when I get a bit more money, I want to get myself a new PC and then give him my old one. But obviously I need it at the moment for work and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's honestly pretty much it. Nothing has really changed, man. That's what's sort of scary in a way. Nothing's really changed over the last year and a half.
I mean, in some ways, that's a good thing. It's if things are working, then it's good that they haven't changed. If they're a little bit overwhelmingly stressful, then maybe there needs to be some some fixes, but I mean, could be a lot worse.
Yeah, no, that's true. It could be a hell of a lot worse, man. Hell of a lot worse.
Yeah.
But I guess
So
we'll just see what happens, really. And
yeah,
plod along.
good deal. Do you have any upcoming, major plans for the podcast, for just yourself? Anything you're really excited to work on, new projects, anything like that?
For myself at the moment, it's just sort of taking a little break and just playing some board games instead, because it's weird that you play competitive games, obviously the stress you out and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I just need to play like some board games or just chill with my friends or chill with my family, and so that's one of the things I need to do more. What else? What else have I got upcoming? I honestly don't know what else I've got upcoming except for work at the moment, and just constantly trying to improve, because it's this back and forth where if I don't improve my art, like I miss a day on that, it's like, oh, I'm not improving. I could be improving now. I'm feeling a bit lazy.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm being probably a bit too harsh on myself. I should take a day off. And it's like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
It's a mixture at the moment. I'll tell you what I am really looking forward to. I am really looking forward to when COVID actually goes away, because I just want to go out normally again now.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I've been sitting and, hoping and praying that things start to go back to normal sometime soon.
I hope so. Honestly, what's your prediction? Where you think everything's going to be back to normal?
Oh man, I was hoping that by now it would be back to normal. So I'm gonna give it another. I honestly will. I'm gonna say probably another couple years at least.
Yeah,
It's hard to say. Like every time things look like they're gonna get back to normal, everything kind of just goes crazy again. So
new
it's kind of hard.
variants.
Yeah, like new variants start coming out, and certain areas start getting more infected than others, and then there's fights over all kinds of should we lock down, should we not, like there's so it just kind of seems like until things start to get a little bit more consistent, we're going to be stuck in it. It seems like the most recent variant's pretty mellow from what I've been able to hear. So hopefully that means that the whole virus is starting to die down quite a bit, and we might be able to kind of move past it. But it's like I said, I still think it's going to take at least a year, maybe even two, before it starts to really settle down.
Yeah, no, yeah. I reckon it's going to be about 3 or 4 years, man.
Yeah.
I just it's getting to the point now where it's so frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the
No, it is.
moment, like I only literally go out once a week, probably for 2 hours, just to get my shopping. Because
Mm,
there's nothing else I can do. Because obviously, some other people don't want to get down, or we've got to try and find places to eat, which will let you in and stuff like that, and it's tough.
yeah.
It's
Well,
tough. And
I
a lot
know
of people
over,
obviously want to go out because it's COVID and stuff like, which is understandable. But
yeah. Well, I know over here, quite a few businesses are open as long as you're masked up and you can like follow all the protocols and everything. Is it
yeah.
pretty strict over there? A lot of places still closed down.
So some places actually just closed down for good because they just couldn't afford it.
Wow.
Which sucks. A lot of places will let you in, but you will have to wear masks and stuff like that. Um, and obviously some people, like if you get to the pub or whatever, they're just all drunk and they start like grabbing you and stuff like that. And it's just you sort of don't want that.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
sort of like, can I go out again or not? Or like I went to go out for New Year's, just to the pub with my friends, and everybody around me was just coughing like mad. I was like, it's weird. I can't focus. I like having a drink with my mates. I just don't want to be here.
Hmm.
It was strange, man. It's really strange.
Yeah. No, I could see that being a little uncomfortable. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't prefer, having some stranger cough all over me. Maybe a little weird. But interesting. So yeah, I mean, we've definitely had a few businesses shut down for good here as well. Luckily not too many.
Yeah,
That is pretty unfortunate to see when it does happen. It's mostly the smaller businesses. But it's just kind of, it's going to happen, to some degree. It's going to, they're either going to get shut down because they're not supposed to be open, or they're going to get shut down because they can't afford to stay open after everything going dark for a little while. So it's just kind of unfortunately the way that it's going to have to be for a little while until things start to get back to normal.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But yeah. So on a lighter note, you mentioned that you've been playing a lot of tabletop games lately. What are some of your
Yes.
favorite games you've been playing?
So I've been sort of addicted to this one. Never played it before. It was called Splendor. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Mm-mm.
And it's simplistic but addictive, which I love. And it's sort
Okay.
of it's like a board game, and it's basically it's like first to 15 points, but you've got each card resembles a number of points as well, but you need to get enough coins to buy them cards and stuff like that. So it's you just take it in turns and buy what you can and screw over the other players. And
Okay.
it's really good fun. It's really good fun. Like I've been trying to play one game every least like 2 days with my friends, and I honestly love it. Like I actually want to buy the board game itself. I want to spend money on it, man. It's so much fun and simple, and it's perfect with like chill music to listen to. Like the
Yeah.
Civ soundtrack playing on that game is brilliant.
Huh. Interesting.
I've,
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that one.
it's really good, really good. I've been playing Memoir 44 as well, which is interesting.
Hmm.
It's like a reenactment of like wars and stuff like that, and sort of like figures. You just move them to different positions and shoot the other team and stuff like that. It's really good.
Cool.
It's not. It's nice just to sort of play a sort of strategy board game instead of something so competitive all the time. I do like my
Right.
competitive games like League. League will be the death of me, man. That game will. League of Legends will kill me.
So I heard that from Sony. I haven't played League. I've heard that from a lot of people.
It's one of them games where it's like it's so frustrating to play, but I absolutely love it and I hate it.
Oh yeah, I definitely have
Definitely
those
love
games
hate
myself.
relationship. Yeah. What's some of your games?
So as far as tabletop games go, there's one that actually I played it a long time ago. And I just played it again for the first time yesterday with my girlfriend's family. It's
Yeah.
called Catan or Catan.
Catan.
I don't know. It's Catan. It's really fun. It's one of those kind of strategy style games where it's like there's like these different like plots of land and they all generate different types of resources, and you have to put like settlements on certain areas of the board near whatever land you want to pull resources from.
Yeah.
And so like whenever you roll, the dice, whatever it lands on determines who gets what resources and like kind of win. And so as you get more resources, you can build different things. You can expand your settlements. You can build like roads and kind of block off other players from expanding. Um, and the whole idea is that you're kind of trying to take over the board and get your settlements as far as possible. So that one's a lot of fun. We played that one for a couple hours last night.
Nice.
Yeah, so that one's a good one. I again haven't played it in a while, but I got into D&D around this time last year, which
Oh, nice.
D&D's a good amount of fun. I don't know if you have much experience with D&D, but
I've I've played like 3 or 4 games. I've never actually completed one though because I've always sort of not always no. I got kicked out of 2. Um, because apparently I didn't understand the rules correctly. One sort of just fell off and drifted. And actually the other one just sort of just stopped playing. So I was sort of meh. I'd never actually finished the campaign, so strange. Good
yeah.
fun though.
Yeah, no, it's a good game. I haven't gotten super far into it yet. I kind of, started up a campaign and then it kind of fizzled out, and then I haven't had a chance to get back into it. So, but that's another one I kind of like to play. And then, I don't know, like I'm still like fairly new to the tabletop game like scene. I mean, I grew up playing like traditional board games, Monopoly, and we had
Yeah,
the
Monopoly's classic.
oh, Monopoly is fantastic.
I love Monopoly.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me to the people that play by different rules.
Oh
I had
yeah.
no idea there's this many rules. It's insane. I reckon that's what causes the arguments.
Oh, definitely. And that's like
Yeah.
one of the biggest. Like I'm like whenever I play board games, I'm the one that's like that's not in the rules, and then like everyone's like trying to fight me. So it's gruesome. But no, Monopoly was a big part of my family growing up. We used to have Monopoly tournaments like all the time. Um,
It's
so we did that,
insane, man.
and like we grew up playing like a lot of card games. So we played like gambling style card games like Hold'em and blackjack and all that kind of stuff. But we played a lot of like Uno and like other like other of those kind of card games. Um, I eventually grew up playing some of the other like trading card games, like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and all those kinds of games. Um,
Yeah.
so as far as video games go, I bounce all over the place. I haven't played League, haven't played Dota, haven't played Rocket League. I mostly like to stick to RPGs, but I can kind of venture into other areas too.
Yeah,
Which
dip in
I
and out.
yeah. So like right now, like I'm really into a Nintendo binge. I love Nintendo. I kind of have a love hate relationship with Nintendo, so I'll kind of play their games for a while, and then I won't touch them again for a little while. But right now, I'm playing a bunch of Nintendo games, like the new Pokemon game, and
Ooh, you got the new Pokemon game.
I did. It's so much fun.
How is it? It's
Oh,
good.
it's awesome. It's like, which I don't know how into the series you are, but it's so much different than any other Pokemon game. It's so cool.
Ooh, I do want to grab it, man, but I don't want to grab it at full price. Yeah,
I don't blame you.
I need to wait, and plus I've still got other work to do, so I think it might try and consume me.
Oh man, it was like I for this episode I was considering just again staying up and recording it, and I was just gonna stay up playing it until it was time to record. But I was like, no, I should probably get at least a few hours of sleep, so I did. But no, that one's been a ton of fun. I mean, I played Breath of the Wild, I played Smash Bros. And then on the non Nintendo side of things, again, I kind of bounce around. Minecraft's kind of my go-to game if I just want to like relax and hang out.
Yeah,
Um,
Minecraft's classic, man.
oh yeah,
Minecraft's just so good.
can't go wrong with Minecraft. It's so easy, to just kind of dip in and just do whatever you want. Um,
Have you tried it in VR?
Minecraft,
Yeah,
I haven't yet. So I do have a
scary.
quest, but I want to, but yeah, you have to side load it onto the quest, and I haven't side loaded mine yet, so I just haven't messed
Ah,
with it. But I do want to soon.
it's really good. It's just terrifying, like because when you go underground, you can hear noises that I've genuinely never heard in the game before. And when you see an Enderman and it's just looking at you and teleports to you and hits you, it's bloody terrifying. It's so scary.
I can see that. That sounds horrifying.
It's great though. It's fantastic. But it's just terrifying.
Yeah. No, that's definitely one of the things I want to get into once I start working with some of those kinds of programs. I've mostly just been like for my Oculus, I mostly just kind of stick to a lot of the social apps, some of the more fun like solo player games like Super Hot and that kind of stuff.
I
Um,
still need to play Super Hot. I've heard so many good things about it. I never played it.
oh, it's so good. It's so cool. But
Do you need big space to play?
not a huge space. You just need you need some room to be able to kind of, wave your arms around and you can like dodge behind walls and stuff. So, give yourself a little bit of room for that. But I mean, like I've been able to play it in my bedroom pretty easily, and my bedroom is not very big. So um yeah, kind of just depends on your flexibility.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and then I mean I play I kind of again have a love hate relationship with shooter games. Like I love Halo, but I hate Call of Duty. So I'll kind of I'll kind of bounce back around, that genre every now and then, and I'll kind of dip into like I love the Elder Scrolls games, so I'll play Skyrim and
Oh
ESO,
yes.
but I'll kind of bounce. So like, I'm kind of like a weird gamer because like I just kind of bounce around for whatever I'm in the mood in. Like I can't just like stick to one style of game. So
No, that makes sense. Yeah, man. Elder Scrolls. I want the new Elder Scrolls, man.
oh
But
man,
I'm
I
worried now because I think Microsoft bought out Bethesda.
yeah, they did.
So I really doubt that Elder Scrolls will be on PlayStation.
I don't believe it's going to be from what I've heard, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's going to be gutting because oh man, I mean I could get on PC, but it's just it makes me sad, you know.
Right. Yeah, no,
Makes me
I'm with
sad.
you. But I no, I mean I'll be able to get it on Xbox, but I prefer to play it on PlayStation, so I'm a little upset about that, but it is what it is. But
Yeah.
I'd rather have it and be able to play it on something than not have it. So um
Oh no, that makes complete sense. Yeah, yeah,
but yeah, so that's kind of my I don't like to say I have like a gamer taste because I'll kind of just play whatever and just kind of
yeah.
see if I like it. If I don't like it, I won't play it. If I do like it, I'll play it. I tend to lean more towards RPGs, and especially like the fantasy, like build your own character, start your own adventure kind of RPGs.
Yeah.
But it kind of just depends on what I'm in the mood for.
No, that makes sense, mate. I get that completely.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, one of the unfortunate things about not having a structure for these kind of check-in episodes is, I don't always have like we don't have really a topic to talk about, so it's hard to say like, well, what about this? It's kind of just like how are you doing? Are you still alive? Good.
I'm still alive, yeah. I think the issue is because not a lot has really happened with me because I haven't really progressed in much stuff except for just practicing my work. And I really don't go out, which sucks a little bit.
Mm,
So nothing really updates, like, and plus I haven't been able to do the podcast, so I can't update anyone on that. I'm
right.
sort of just stuck in a rut at the moment, mate.
And that just happens sometimes. I mean, I've definitely been there. I think a lot of people have. You kind of just get into this, either a loop of just not being able to kind of do something new, or you just kind of don't really know what direction to go in. You just kind of, one day you're like, huh, I've been doing the same thing for, 2 or 3 years now. What am I doing? I think it's kind of like a natural part of life. It's just a matter of realizing that it's happening and kind of taking the steps to get yourself out of it. That's kind of the big thing.
Yeah, it's hard to get yourself out there sometimes. It's really difficult, man.
No, it definitely is. I definitely, I've been in, multiple month ruts where I'm kind of just like, what am I doing? And it's not, like you said, it's not easy to drag yourself out, but it's, you know, sometimes it can be, the difference between moving on to cool new things and kind of just, sitting where you're at, which if you're comfortable where you're at, then that's perfectly fine. It's just a matter of what you want to do.
Yeah, I think I just need something like new and exciting, just anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm really looking forward to going out next week. One of my two friends are coming up from Birmingham way,
Mm.
so we're gonna go celebrate the Chinese New Year.
Oh, cool.
So we're gonna get to like Chinatown, get some nice food and stuff like. It's gonna be good. I'm really looking forward to it, man. It's
Yeah,
been
no, that
so
sounds
long.
awesome.
It's been
That sounds
so
so
long
cool.
around.
No, I mean, if we weren't, a whole ocean apart, I would say, yeah, I'll take you around and show you some farms. We can go get you riding some horses or
I
something like
still,
that. But
I want to do that, like, because I had a plan for this year, and I was generally actually going to message you about it because the idea I had was me and about think 3 or 4 of my friends, 3 of them drive, so we was going to hire out a RV for the month
oh wow,
and just travel and just go and see places. And I had
yeah,
some people I wanted to see, but because things are happening in other people's lives as well, like it's hard to work around that.
right, yeah,
Um, and then you got to think, I don't know, is this trip ever going to happen or not? Because it's something that I would want to do. Like, I don't mind if it's like, unpaid or not. Like, I just want to go somewhere for a month and just explore and see what happens.
yeah,
It seems
mm,
awesome, and I
yeah.
want to do it because I haven't had a chance to travel. Like, before I got this job, I wanted to travel. I got the job. COVID hit. I can't really travel. It's gutting, man. It's gutting.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the world's against me sometimes.
Oh, I know how you feel. But no, I definitely, I mean, that would be a really cool experience to get to do. I've been wanting to do something similar. I kind of want to go visit some of my more, friendly podcast guests that I've really connected with.
Yeah.
Um, I would like to go over to, your side of the pond, over in like the European area and visit some of my friends over there, but it's just difficult because again, like you said, there's COVID restrictions and there's, the financial restriction of, flights being really expensive, even if they're, even if they are available. So that's difficult. But I've considered doing something like that, getting some kind of, camper or RV and just driving around, at least in my area, the United States, California, or even like to Canada and Mexico and kind of visiting some of my friends in those areas. So,
It just
um,
seems really cool to do. And the problem is as well, like, I don't even know if flights are like covered by COVID or not. I have no idea. And it's one of the things, say if you go over and it does hit and like you're stuck over there, like where are you gonna live? I mean, if you haven't got that much money left, and things get tricky.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean that's been a
Scary,
big.
man.
Yeah, it's difficult to really plan anything because then you're like, well, I mean, like I have family friends who've gotten stuck in other countries for a few months at a time, just trying to figure out how to get out because of COVID restrictions. So it's a difficult time.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully, you get the chance to do something like that soon. I'm just hoping that things start to kind of get a little bit back to normal, enough soon that we're able to go out and kind of do fun stuff like that again. But fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, fingers crossed, mate. I bloody hope so. I want to go see some places, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is there anything else you had to add on to that? I'm kind of, maybe it's just my 4 a.m. brain, but I'm kind of running dry on on thoughts here.
No, same, mate. It's like I said, like sorry, but nothing's really updated much over this end at the moment, mate.
No, I mean that's perfectly fine. I mean the whole point of this is to kind of just reconnect and say, hey, how you been? Or are you still kicking? You need any help with
Yeah.
anything? So
But no, thank you for checking in, man. I really do appreciate that.
yeah, of course.
Really
I
cool
mean,
of you.
yeah, I mean one of the big things I want to really emphasize on this podcast, on top of just like the educational stuff and having the conversations about ag, is kind of building a strong network and kind of connecting with my guests and making sure that they all kind of feel like you guys are not just episodes. You're still friends, and I'm still going to check on you, make sure you're okay.
Yeah. No, that's really
So
cool of you, man. It's really
yeah,
cool.
yeah, my
But no,
pleasure.
I think that's wrapped it up. Sorry if it wasn't too exciting. It's just nothing.
No, I mean you're good. I mean, as long as you're still going, and the podcast thing is a whole mess. I understand. I've had a few friends this past few months that have started to retire or kind of back themselves off of their podcasts, and some that have had to take breaks and come back later, and some kind of like myself who had to take breaks and kind of try something new with the podcast just to kind of get themselves excited with it. So it's just it is what it is. It's kind of we're in weird times. We're in like this weird kind of transitionary period of life, so it's difficult to kind of pinpoint what's going to be good in the future and what's not. We're kind of just living day by day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know, matey. I know.
but no, I mean I think that covers it for me. So if you don't have anything else, I mean you're welcome to plug the podcast if you want people to be able to find it.
Not yet. I've got to fix it.
No. All right. Well, maybe by the time this episode comes out in a few months, you'll be ready to have some publicity again. But
I hope so.
yeah. Well, like I said, if there's anything I can do, let me know. I'm always happy to help out.
Cool.
Yeah. So that kind of wraps it up for me. If you have any closing statements or anything, you're more than welcome to.
I want COVID to go away. Pretty much.
I second that. But awesome. Well, thanks, Paul. Thanks for the conversation. Hopefully, it gave you a little bit of a break from your day to day, kind of gave you something new. So
I needed it, mate. I actually did.
good. I'm glad. I'm always happy to hear that. It's you never quite think about it's like, oh, it's just another podcast episode. But a lot of the time after I have kind of conversations like that, I'm kind of like, I'm glad that I had that. That helped out a lot, actually. So
No, I did. It's just nice to talk to someone different as well. Like,
yeah,
I really like the people I'm with and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
my friends and family, and I talk to them every day. But it's just, it's nice to have talk to someone different.
yeah, exactly. And especially, different part of the world, different experiences, different, stories to tell. So it's always kind of cool to get, that kind of perspective going on too.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But I mean, I think that's all I have. So I mean, if you're good, then I think we're good to close out here.
Yeah, I'm good with that, matey.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Paul, for joining me. I would you like me to link all your stuff down in the description, or do you want to wait a little bit?
No, you feel free to link it. I mean, there is previous episodes there if people do want to listen to them.
That's true.
but it's just there's nothing new at the moment.
All right. Well, yeah, I will link all your stuff down in the description, and send people your way so that way they can check out all of your older stuff, and wait in desperation for your new stuff to come out. No pressure, but
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure.
but yeah, no, thanks again. I always appreciate having the conversations.
No problem, man. It was really nice as well. So thank you for reaching out.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, so thanks again to the audience for tuning in and for hopefully listening this way. It's always nice to have these kind of check-in episodes. I think people will enjoy them. They'll kind of like to hear the human side of podcasters, not just the consistent episodes. So yeah, so thanks again for everyone for tuning in. Thanks again, Paul, for helping me out with this, and I will catch all of you next week. And don't forget, if you ate today, thank a farmer.